it's cool to just talk to him and get his pull on his thoughts. Plus, he also had one of the better performances in a tournament he has in recent memory. So, Ray, I know, of course, it sucks to lose, and overall, it's kind of just the way the cards fall in Hearthstone. How are you feeling overall about your tournament performance compared to, I guess, overall, you said you weren't sure if you were playing really well before coming to the tournament?
Yeah, I don't know. People have this perception that it like matters how well you play or even what decks you bring, and between those two things, what decks you bring is definitely more important. I mean, this is probably the second tournament I've ever had like nothing but good decks, nothing cheesy or different. But honestly, it doesn't matter. Like, I feel like obviously I didn't see the hands from both sides, but I felt like I played that reasonably well. There were a lot of like plays that looked very weird, I'm sure, and they might have looked terrible to you guys, but I felt like I was considering everything, and I don't know. I was like happy with how I played, I guess is what I'm saying, and I don't think that it correlates at all with tournament performance because those games were. How can I beat someone in a tournament that puts Ragnaros and 2 Brawls in his deck? Like, if he could resubmit decks, he would play like double Mad Bomber. Like I can't win. Like.
So you also managed to lose against a double Doomhammer Shaman, which you also said.
Deck is garbage.
Yeah.
It's hot garbage. Because the reason you play Shaman is because in a ban system, it's the only class that's good against both versions of Warlock after you ban Hunter. And that Shaman deck basically takes its matchups that it's like heavily favored in and makes them even better, but then it just gets destroyed by Zoo. So like all of a sudden if somebody if he played that against the Moz, for example, like and banned Hunter, and I mean he would get rolled by Zoo. They couldn't beat it. So, and I also feel like I wasn't really sure like what to think about 6L because like I said I didn't watch his games and all that, but I know he does good in qualifier events and all that. And then like in the Shaman game he coin totemed, which I understand like he has flame tongue and all of that, but like in a tempo matchup I don't know, like I felt like I played that match better, but again came down to Lightning Storm RNG and RNG hero power. And RNG Stone. I mean, there are times where I got lucky. There are times where I got lucky too.
Well, yeah. Well, there was a point in the first match where you kind of overdrew too many cards. And we felt like that if you drew Alex Straza, if you didn't have a full hand, that you could have maybe bounced back in the mirror match. Because 6-0 used all his burst already, right? And Ice Lance didn't really do anything. There's one Ice Lance left, and that was the only sort of damage. But then you kind of overdrew too much by not playing a non-spell. Because you had Archmage Antonidas on the board, right? And then you use some spells, and then you just kept on doing
No, that game was unwinnable.
Yeah?
Because he was an ice block up.
Okay.
There was no sequence of draws or plays that would lead to me winning that game. It was literally impossible.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was literally impossible to win that game. I think if we're both thinking about the same turn, that is. Yeah, maybe something earlier in the game I could have done differently, but no, at the end with the Antonidas, it was over because he was a nice block up. There's no way to win.
Okay.
All right. Well, Lothar trying to get some camera time as usual. Well, Reynad, your tournament run performance ends here, but I think a lot of people were happy that you're able to at least advance to here, the top 8, which you're still in the money, and people were able to watch you on the final day.
$500. I don't know.
Hey, man.
I wish I could have gone a little further. That's okay. Next one will go better. Oh, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, I guess we'll let him go, and we'll let you guys go off to a quick break before we get to our third semifinals. Trump versus Toyota is coming up right after this, guys. Stay tuned.